Today we have the pleasure of welcoming Serge. The first interview will be conducted in English to address the English-speaking audience. It will be done in French next week. Hello, Serge.
Hello, Ghislaine. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. You were part of the judicial committee that judged the governing body and excommunicated them due to their extremely serious sins during the forced vaccination campaign. Internet users know you less than Jan and me, so we'll get to know you better and address some questions raised by some users, particularly Americans. First, can you tell us how you became a Jehovah's Witness?
Thank you for the question. I was born in a family where my mother was one of Jehovah's Witness and my father was a Catholic. So I had the two religion when I was growing up. And my mother has particularly her influence over me, and she studied the Bible with me. And in a very young age, I decided to get baptized, and it was in 1992. And some years later, 2005, I became an elder, serving as an elder.
Okay. So you became an elder at 25,
I was 27 that time,
27.
but I know that, yes, the body of elders were sending my um, to the branch committee for me to be serving as an elder since I was 24, 25.
Okay.
But each time the branch was answering that I was too young to serve in that position.
Yeah.
It was important for them that time. So finally, in 27, it was approved that I could serve in that position. So I started to serve at 27.
Okay. And what motivated you to be an elder?
First of all, my love for Jehovah. I love him very much, and I was ready to serve in whichever capacity he wanted me to serve. And I love the brothers and sisters so much. We were serving in a very happy congregation, and I was happy to give them the best I could. So basically, let's say in one word, it was love.
Thank you. And what theocratic activities using Jehovah's Witnesses terminology have you been involved in?
According to the witnesses terminology, when I became an elder, I started to serve in what is called the service committee because I was in charge of the field service. The field service is the preaching work responsibility. So I have to organize the territory. I have to uh, send brothers and sisters to go to preach and how to preach. So I was in charge of basically on that department. And as a member of the service committee, I was automatically also conducting judicial committee because we needed to form judicial committee whenever it was needed. So I had the opportunity to conduct some of them and to help many brothers and sisters who needed help that time.
Okay, thank you. And what motivated you to lead this judicial committee? I recall that after a few email exchanges, you immediately agreed when I proposed it.
Yes, because when that crisis of COVID started and the way the governing body were managing that, it was really a surprise for me, even a shock, to see that brothers from the governing body were violating the principle of neutrality in front of 8 million Jehovah's Witnesses. And I was so shocked that I could not believe my ears that they were really going against Romans chapter 14 and 1 Corinthians chapter 8 by imposing the law of their conscience to all their brothers and sisters by pushing them to get vaccinated with an experimental product. So for me, something should be done. That is why at early time, before to get to know you, we started to write letters with some friends, some brothers from Germany. We passed by the German branch to send letters to the governing body to tell them that what they were doing were incorrect biblically, and medically speaking, those products could be a danger for brothers and sisters. So we tried to warn them with what we had, because we thought maybe they don't have the information we have. So, as they are our brothers, love again motivated us to let them be aware of what we were able to see around us. But unfortunately, have as months were passing by, we noticed that they didn't really um, took note of our warnings, and they continue violating Bible principles, and we saw effects on brothers and sisters around us. Many falling sick, some having heart attacks, even other dying. So that one was for me the red line that was crossed at that moment, and something shall be done. We could not just remain silent and see our friends and brothers die because of this wrong leadership.
Yes, sure. Now let's address some questions from internet users. Some have said we are an AI. What's your response?
Of course, we are not. You can see me and you, we are not AI. We are real people. We have families and we have friends. And
Yeah,
of course, we can understand nowadays with the technology, anybody can do anything with what they have at hand. But no, we are not AI. We are real people, real brothers with a genuine love for the brotherhood.
yeah, yeah. And I repeat that we use a software, an AI software, to translate our French. As you see, we don't speak fluently English, so for this judicial committee, we use a software, an AI software, to translate our French in English and in 12 languages. So the information can spread um, upon the earth. Thank you for your response. And
Absolutely.
others say we weren't elders when we held this committee, so it's invalid. What do you say to that?
Well, I believe that the way that we are living in a society when everything is supposed to be formal before to be true, I'm not surprised that people think that way. However, when it comes to spiritual matters, this logic cannot work. We believe that true elders or true shepherd are those who love God, who protect His word and protect the sheep of Jesus, regardless of the cost we have to pay. And that's what we did. I believe that by shielding the sheep of Jesus, by trying to protect them against this dangerous product which were about to be injected in them, and by trying to stop injustice, even coming from the leadership, to continue influencing Jesus' sheep, we behave much more like shepherd and elder than any other person, because we believe that an elder is not only the one making talks here and there in assemblies, in videos, as we see in gw.org or whatever other platform that can be. So those who abandon the sheep of Jesus to the wolves of the pharmaceutical industry to be injected with an experimental product, I don't believe they are real shepherd or real elders, because they did not shield them when they needed to. So for us, the debate is very clear. True elders are the one we did the best we could with the means we had, but from our heart and from our conscience, we did all we could with the means we have to protect the sheep, and in such a way, we have acted like an elder.
Okay, good. Interesting. And what biblical basis can ordinary brothers or simple congregation elders judge members of the governing body?
Because of what is written in the Bible. First of all, it is the word of Jesus in Matthew chapter 23, verse 8, when Jesus said that we should not call anyone rabbi because we are all brothers. By saying that we are all brothers, it means that from Jesus' point of view, no one is superior or inferior to anyone. So, regardless the fact that they are governing body or whatever committees or branch or whatever uh, title people can claim to have, the most important for Jesus, we are all brothers, and we consider that fact. It means that if someone commits a sin, he must be judged with the same rules, with the same level like anyone else. That was number one. Number two, it is the procedure that Jehovah has established in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22. We don't know why the governing body never spread that very important procedure, because this involves the leadership. When the leaders among God's people commit sins or misuse their power, and that misuse of power lead to blood guilt, Jehovah has established what that shall be done. And we hear most of the time brothers saying, oh, we have to leave this matter in Jehovah's hand. We should not touch it because they are the faithful slave. They are appointed by Jesus. Yes, appointed by Jesus. But at the same time, Jehovah has established the procedure when those leadership commit sins linked to the blood guilt. In verse 30, Jehovah says, first of all, he searched for a man. It means somebody. No special title to that person, but somebody with a heart of justice who see the injustice to stand and stop, if possible, that injustice. Only if there is nobody, or if that person rises up but is not listened to, the wrongdoers continue in the wrong way, only verse 31st apply, Jehovah will then act and punish the wrongdoers. But most of brothers, they don't know that that procedure does exist. So I invite them all to read the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 1, 2, 6, 30, and 31. So it was clear for us that we have to obey God as a leadership than humans. That's what we did.
Yes, interesting. Very, very interesting. And why hold a judicial committee solely on this issue of vaccines and not on other matters?
Um, of course, we understand that many bad things happened along the history in Jehovah's organization. However, we cannot take all the fight at the same time. It is not possible. Um, we took that fight about what happened to our brothers and sisters. We see that the governing body was blood guilt in this case by pushing the mandate of vaccination by whatever ways they were trying to do. And we saw brothers and sisters dying near us, and we could not tolerate that, and we took action. However, if other brothers and sisters feel that they can also take that fight or another fight, they can feel free to do so, because each one should act according to his conscience and according to what he knows from God's word. So we invite everybody who feel like taking action in another topic to feel free to do so. As for us, taking already this one was something very big, was something that took a lot from us. But we took at least that fight, and we make judicial committee for this one. And we invite also others to follow the way of their conscience and to fight for other topics which they feel deserves a judicial committee.
Yes, yes, of course. Can this judicial committee only be symbolic?
I don't think so, because we know that what the heaven think is not what the earth thinks. From human point of view, of course, they might feel that what we did is very limited. It is not very impactful. It's only on social media. We can see things that way. However, we should not forget that we are first and foremost into a spiritual war. And that spiritual war is not visible. It is not done with the tools common human can see. So we did a part of our fight, of our spiritual fight. Now it's up to the heaven to take this and to put it at its proper place with all the strategy that Jesus is using in the heaven. So we believe that we are just part of the piece of this war, and Jehovah is taking care of that. So symbolic, yes, it is. It is very symbolic because it's something that has never happened in the whole history of Jehovah's Witnesses. Never, ever, normal or ordinary brothers and sisters, in this case, brothers, have held a judicial committee against the governing body. So it is symbolic, yes and no. Symbolic, yes, in the sense that maybe it is limited, but not because the heaven will decide of the real impact of of what we did. And we need time sometimes. We need time. People are living nowadays in what I call journalistic daily events. People want, it's like they're living in a movie. They want to see the beginning, how it develops, and the end quickly. No, the reality does not work like that. Things never happen that automatic and that quick. In the reality, things move in a very different pace. So we need to trust God, His timeline, and the way He acts from heaven. So nothing to rush about the real consequences, but it will be seen along the time. So we are calm, we are tranquil, we keep observing what the true God will do from His part.
Yes, yes. And so, in this sense, will this judgment have an impact on the governing body and the Jehovah's Witnesses organization as a whole?
Absolutely. Now, we cannot tell when and how in details that will be. As I said, we need to have a spiritual vision of things. If only we are limited on physical or earthly vision, we will not have we cannot see the full picture of what we are talking about here. We believe that it will be impactful, and we know for sure that the governing body is aware of the videos we did and what we keep doing. They are aware of the decision, and brothers and sisters will be aware as well. The most important is the sheep of God. As many sheep will open their eyes, will be awake, that is the most important for God to save His people. If the leadership care or doesn't care, it doesn't really matter to us. The most important is the sheep for which Jesus died. So if the sheep are helped, even by this symbolic judicial committee, for us it's a big success.
Thank you, Serge, for this information and clarification. We know this won't eliminate all criticism. If some disagree with our decisions, that's not a problem for us. We simply note that no criticism has been made about the content. Every elder or former elder, at some point in their life, could recognize a typical elders' meeting among Jehovah's Witnesses. We are truly happy to have turned the governing body's weapon against them. No one is untouchable. If they have committed crimes, they must answer for them. We want to encourage everyone to follow their conscience and do what they believe is right without fearing anyone and to act simply in complete freedom. I remind you that you can read this fascinating book about the history of COVID vaccination among Jehovah's Witnesses. You can also contribute to spreading the information about the communication of the governing body by giving a flyer to every witness you know in their mailbox or on their car windshield. See you soon for other events.
Thank you very much.
Endlich frei.